Welcome to Chapter 8. This lecture, prepared for the School of Computing at University Utara, Malaysia, examines the mechanics of attacks and malware. Organizations and individuals operate within an environment where digital infrastructure is targeted by high-frequency attempts at unauthorized access and state alteration. To design secure systems, computer scientists must understand the precise logic and structure behind these breaches. We establish a baseline theoretical network architecture. This healthy state is our threat model. We have three objectives: categorizing network perimeter breaches, analyzing malware execution on internal endpoints, and deploying security auditing to verify system integrity. A systems-level understanding of this threat model allows us to predict how an attack unfolds and identify where the internal logic of a defense must be reinforced. We begin by classifying network attacks through a state alteration dichotomy, categorizing every incident by how it interacts with system resources and data. Passive attacks monitor and intercept data flows without altering the system's operational state. The target infrastructure continues normally. Through eavesdropping and traffic analysis, an attacker quietly captures sensitive information, such as plain text login credentials, across an unencrypted channel. The operational objective of a passive attack is limited to long-term reconnaissance. Active attacks, in contrast, require explicit modification or disruption of operations. Common methods include data modification, man-in-the-middle interceptions, and denial-of-service attacks, which flood a system until it crashes. In these scenarios, the objective is the degradation of system resources or attaining unauthorized control. While passive attacks provide a map of the network, active attacks use that information to disable or subvert the infrastructure. To execute these strategies, external threats must find a pathway into the system. These specific methods of exploitation are known as attack vectors. Narrowing focus to a vulnerable user endpoint reveals these vectors. Phishing emails bypass outer security when humans interact with malicious content. Meanwhile, software vulnerabilities and weak authentication provide a direct path for attackers to bypass boundaries and gain core access. The attack vector is the necessary bridge. Without a viable vector to exploit a specific vulnerability, the payload cannot execute. Once the bridge is crossed, the malicious software payload, or malware, is delivered to harm or exploit the system. We classify malware by its execution autonomy, the dependencies required to spread. A virus operates with strict dependency, attaching itself to a legitimate host file, like an executable program. A virus remains dormant until a user triggers the host program. A worm operates with absolute autonomy, requiring no interaction. Once inside, it self-replicates and travels across network protocols, actively infecting adjacent vulnerable nodes. This makes a virus a localized, user-level threat, whereas a worm is a fast-moving network-level threat. Some malware bypasses technical defenses entirely through pure deception. The Trojan horse is the primary example of this approach. Trojans disguise themselves as legitimate software. Users install the program, bypassing their own security protocols and granting system access to the attacker. After gaining access, the payload dictates the damage. Ransomware executes by encrypting data and locking users out of their own systems. In practice, we see this architecture targeting critical infrastructure, such as hospital networks. When healthcare databases are encrypted, patient records become inaccessible, resulting in massive losses. Spyware offers a covert alternative, running invisibly in the background to covertly collect user behavior and sensitive data. Attackers often combine spyware with phishing to target banking users, harvesting financial credentials over an extended period via malicious email attachments. These payload behaviors demonstrate that modern malware is targeted, financially motivated engineering designed to exploit specific organizational assets. If threats exploit structural weaknesses, defense requires continuous structural verification. This is achieved through security auditing, the formal process of reviewing and analyzing systems against established security policies. Organizations conduct internal auditing for self-assessment and utilize external auditing when they require independent verification of their defenses. Compliance auditing is utilized specifically to ensure systems meet mandated regulatory and legal standards. Auditing serves to identify hidden vulnerabilities before they can be exploited and ensures compliance with internal security policies. Furthermore, it provides the forensic logs necessary to support investigations and proactively improves the overall security posture. Auditing is the vital feedback loop that transforms theoretical security policies into verifiable system resilience. All cyber threats, from passive reconnaissance to autonomous malware, depend on unverified structural flaws to succeed. Because autonomous threats like worms execute at machine speed, the delay inherent in human reaction makes manual response insufficient. Effective mitigation depends on an architecture that is verified and hardened before an attack is launched. As future computer science professionals, you are responsible for engineering these defenses. Cybersecurity is a continuous discipline of engineering and verification. You must remain equipped to detect, prevent, and respond to the threats of a digital environment.